Some of the images from yesterday were so wonderful to see. Obviously an awful lot of healing that needs to be done, but a fantastic day, orchestrated, of course, and managed and organised by Donald J. Trump. Nothing to do with Keir Starmer, who was humiliated on the world stage. Jake, very good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
A great day yesterday. I think we all felt somehow a mixture of emotions because, of course, we still wait for other families to see whether or not they get the return of their relatives who have previously died in captivity. But a fascinating day. I was saying this morning, it must be quite incredible for some of the hostages to wake up this morning in a sort of a clean bed for the first time in 737 days, surrounded by loved ones. They must be waking up thinking it's all a dream.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychological work that needs to go into supporting these people as they make this huge adaptation back to normal life. I think that, as far as I understand it, Israeli experts have learned quite a lot. They've had quite a few hostages going through that journey, that wonderful journey, but a difficult journey also in recent months and over the past couple of years. Only recently, a former victim of somebody who was in the Nova festival attack committed suicide. So it's a very real and difficult challenge to cope with. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, without wishing to downplay the scale of the challenge, it's a wonderful day. You know, one of the things that Israeli society has that we seem to have lost to a large extent is a sense of the whole nation being one family. And I think that really explains the scenes of widespread jubilation across the country, not just the families themselves, but everybody felt invested in these people. And now they're finally back. You know, up until now, there's a sense of unfinished business, of trauma that the whole country's been going through. Now they're back. Finally, it can begin to heal.
Yeah, I think so. So we look at Donald Trump talking about his personality.
I remember Hillary Clinton during a debate, she said, look at him, he's going to go to war with everybody. And actually, she said, he's got a personality that's all about war. No, and my personality actually is all about stopping wars, and it seems to work. It seems to work.
And, you know, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, it probably wouldn't have happened.
I mean, this whole thing has been a result of the Trump whirlwind sweeping into the Middle East and carrying all the leaders up into this sense that actually we can do this, that freeing the hostages was always the right thing to focus on. And now finally, the Arab world in particular has been united by the force of Trump's personality. Of course, big questions remain about how the next stages of the deal are going to work. The devil will be in the detail. But for now, it just reminded me of, you know, a father coming home and saying, look, kids, tidy your rooms up. It's been like this for long enough. And, you know, Mark Rutte, of course, the NATO chief, previously referred to Trump as daddy in a humiliating message a few months ago. But there was that sense of, you know, these kids lining up on the stage saying, OK, fine, we'll actually do the right thing and get Hamas to release the hostages. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, really. And one thing that was also very clear yesterday was what disdain Keir Starmer and the British government are held in, not only by Donald Trump, but also by the Israeli government.
Yeah, I mean, you know, from the Manchester attacks onwards, all we've wanted from Keir Starmer is just to keep his mouth shut. Yeah. Just don't say anything. It's clear that you've messed this up royally. You've humiliated Britain on the world stage by having Hamas celebrate celebrate your foreign policy one week and then celebrate the attack that you're trying to lament the next. And then suddenly, you know, the cherry on the cake came when British officials from Bridget Phillipson downwards tried to claim credit for Trump's deal, only to be slapped down by the Americans who called them delusional. Yeah. I mean, it was just abject humiliation, not just for him. I mean, it's quite funny, you know, to see Keir Starmer, a bit of schadenfreude from the viewing public, I think, but he's humiliating Britain as well.
Yeah. He really is, and that is the tragedy of it. I mean, nobody in this country, I think, wants to see our Prime Minister being humiliated, but because it's Keir Starmer and he's so unpopular, we quite like watching him squirm. But, I mean, as a nation, we should be embarrassed by it.
Exactly. I mean, Britain should have stood shoulder to shoulder with the US, insisting that Hamas are the bad guys, not Israel, the liberal democracy trying to defend its people. Hamas need to surrender. Hamas need to release the hostages, and nothing will be given to the Palestinians until that happens. That should have been, it's obvious that should have been our position. And yet we kowtowed to the propaganda, to various special interest voting groups in our country, and it led to the abject abysmal humiliation of us recognizing a Palestinian state without demanding that Hamas surrenders, emboldening Hamas to reject the deal at the time and prolong the war. We've only contributed towards extending this war, whereas Donald Trump has stopped it. And now Keir Starmer is being humiliated, trying to claim the credit for something that he actually worked against.
Yeah, it is extraordinary. But there we are. Jake, great to see you. Thank you very much indeed. It's a great week for everybody who believes in democracy and